So they lied to you about the idea of passive income. Every guru out there for the last few years, I remember hearing this since I was like in 2016 watching YouTube videos about making money while you sleep, or about, making money while you don't do anything, while you're at the beach. And yes, but they're not telling you the true story. There's not such thing as completely passive income. Now, you can get very close to it, and this is something that I'm going to cover in this video, but every single income, especially the most passive incomes out there, at least at the beginning, they require effort, they require consistency, they require planning, they require inputs. You can automate a lot, you can outsource a lot, but you cannot just walk away from the responsibility. The people who are telling you that they're completely passive incomes where you don't have to do anything, they're completely selling a fantasy. That's not true. Because real freedom doesn't come from doing nothing. It comes from building systems. So if it's your first time here, my name is JC Tyler. I'm an author, writer, and entrepreneur who has built and is building even more one-person business around my ideas, and I help men do the same. So I'll show men how they can start trading time for money and build systems around themselves from things that they already know, so they can build a life that actually belongs to them. If this kind of content interests you, make sure you subscribe. Alright, so I'm going to break down this passive income situation, how true it is, how close you can get to it, and I hope that it makes things clear for you.
Let's be clear, passive income is not a lie, but it's oversimplified. The way most people talk about it is misleading. They make it sound like you can just set something up once, walk away, and money will show up forever. That's not how it works in the real world. You may be thinking, what about rental properties, dividends, businesses, or a YouTube channel? Okay, let's take rental properties for example. On paper, they look like passive income. In reality, there's constant maintenance, renovations, tenant issues, and financial management. Even if you hire a property manager, you're still responsible for overseeing operations and making decisions. Dividends require careful and ongoing investments in the stock market, and they depend on how the market performs. One bad decision can wipe out your gains. YouTube channels? Same thing. A successful channel requires consistent posting, scripting, editing, responding to comments, improving thumbnails, understanding analytics, and keeping up with trends. The moment you stop creating content, your channel starts dying. Investments can bring returns, but they're not hands-off either. You need to understand what you're investing in, monitor markets, and manage risk. Economic shifts, inflation, and political events all affect your portfolio. Even with so-called passive options, there's always risk and ongoing responsibility. So as you see, nothing is hands-off. The correct way to look at passive income is to replace that term with systems. Systems mean having an infrastructure that works for you, products and assets that multiply your effort. It's not passive, it's scalable. For example, when you create a digital product like an online course, book, or training, you do the work once, but it continues to sell later, assuming you do a few things right. When you post a video that brings in new customers or builds your audience automatically, that's a system working. When you hire a team, automate your processes, and free your time for higher level decisions, that's a system working. But all of that still requires planning, upfront investment, and oversight. You don't set and forget, you build, monitor, and adjust. Inputs never stop.
Alright you guys, so if you're getting value out of this video, make sure you go and check the link in the description. I made a free PDF for you explaining exactly what's going on in today's job market and the multiple ways that from things that you already know, you can start creating digital products and services so you can start leaving the job market and create systems around who you are, what you know, and how you live. There's also some information about the dating dynamics, which is a topic that I do cover a lot as well. So yeah, go there, check the link in the description, completely free, and let's continue with the video.
Most people fail at creating passive income because they're chasing an outcome, not a process. They imagine a life where money flows in while they do nothing. No work, no stress, no responsibility. They think that if they can just stop working, they'll finally be happy. But that mindset is exactly what keeps people stuck and miserable. The idea that doing nothing leads to fulfillment is false. In reality, doing nothing creates emptiness. Humans need purpose. We're built to build, to solve problems, to create, to contribute. When you remove all forms of productive effort, you remove meaning itself. That's why even people who make it financially often end up restless and bored. Freedom without purpose becomes misery. Real satisfaction comes from creating something valuable, seeing it grow, and knowing it exists because of your effort. That's the kind of passive income worth chasing. People want the freedom without the foundation. They want the result without putting in the work to learn marketing, sales, systems, or consistency. The moment they realize it takes time and discipline, they quit. That's why the internet is full of failed passive income projects, abandoned YouTube channels, half-finished online courses, or dead e-commerce stores. Now, don't get me wrong, there are multiple ways to make more while doing less, and that's where automation and outsourcing come in. Automation and outsourcing are tools to make income more leveraged, not effortless. Automation helps with repetitive tasks like sending emails, processing payments, or scheduling posts. It saves time and increases consistency. Outsourcing lets you focus on the most valuable parts of your business. Whatever endeavor you choose, you can hire people to help you with different tasks, editors, designers, or assistants, so you can focus on strategy, creativity, and decision making. But these tools cost money. You're trading cash for time, which is fine, but it's still work. You're managing a system instead of performing the tasks directly. And even then, problems happen. Software breaks, employees quit, algorithms change, you still have to lead. The idea that you can automate everything and disappear is unrealistic. The most successful business owners automate intelligently, but stay involved. Most people don't even know what they truly want because they're not on a path that allows discovery. Once you start building, you uncover new interests, skills, and directions that weren't visible before. The goal isn't to avoid effort, it's to make your effort compound. When your work aligns with your purpose, you stop chasing passive income and start living with active freedom. Passive income is really about ownership. When you own your systems, your audience, and your products, you're no longer dependent on someone else's approval, paycheck, or structure. You have control. The real goal is not to sit on a beach doing nothing. That gets boring fast. The goal is to build something that gives you fulfillment, purpose, flexibility, and peace of mind. You decide what to work on, when to work, and how much to work. That's the freedom you want, and it's earned, not given. Most people overestimate what they can do in a week and underestimate what they can do in 5 years. If you spend the next 3 to 5 years learning valuable skills, creating products, and building online systems, you'll have financial stability that most people will never reach. The economy will keep changing, but the principle will stay the same. This is why you need to start now, even with small steps. They look small now, but they won't in 1 year from now.
Alright, you guys, Real Jesse here. I want to finish this video with just a quick golden nugget about the closest thing that you will get to passive income. You know, the closest thing that you will get to it is you being at the top of a system or infrastructure that you own. And that you only work on the infrastructure itself and not on a specific tasks. So this is the truth about how passive income really works. You have to make sure that you build an infrastructure, and this applies to pretty much everything in life. And online passive income is no different. You can outsource, of course, you can delegate tasks, but you got to make sure that you are at the top of the pyramid, that the system that you own. So that is how close you want to get to it. You're not going just to run away from responsibility. You cannot just delegate everything and be completely hands off. You will have to monitor, you will have to manage, you will have to take care of the infrastructure. And this is what will give you purpose. Because it gets to a point in life, I know you're very focused on money right now, but it gets to a point in life where the money goes into like a second or third place. You want to make sure that you have meaning, that you have purpose, that whatever it is that you're working on, that you help people. So I hope this made it clear for you what passive income is and is not.